Hi everyone, Evie here. In today's video, we are going to speculate on how infinitynikki's clothing dyeing feature might work based on what we've seen in shinynikki's Marina dye workshop. To make things easier to follow, I'll add explanations on the sides of the screen, such as UR ultra rare roughly equals a 5-star outfit, as well as material descriptions for better clarification. Materials and costs. When you see an icon emphasizing fabrics, those are used for pattern imprinting. If you see a jar with fabrics, that's for dyeing clothes a different color. For hair dyes, the black color swatch board indicates rare dye colors, such as black, blonde, or silver, while the white color swatch board represents standard dyes, including blue, green, purple, etc. As for the dye bottles, if the liquid inside is purplish blue, it's for built-in ombre hairstyles, while pink means single-color hair dyes. On the main screen, you'll also see how many of each material I currently have. For context, this account has been active since the launch of shinynikki. Dyes can be obtained in several ways, including but not limited to free random rewards, cumulative recharge rewards, shop purchases using gems, diamonds, or real money, weekly styling competitions, and if you know any other ways of obtaining, I would really appreciate it if you could mention in the comments because I don't really pay that much attention to how to obtain dyes. Because I've never purchased standalone dye gift packs, only ones that came with clothing pieces or poses, which sometimes included dyes. I also rarely recolor clothing, so here's everything I've accumulated over time. That being said, since we've already seen bouquet recoloring in infinitynikki, I suspect dye materials in infinitynikki might be more similar to the bouquet system rather than how materials work in shinynikki. However, a key point to note is that even in shinynikki, there aren't enough materials to unlock all palettes for every single clothing piece, so I highly doubt infinitynikki will allow us to painlessly unlock every color option for all outfits. How much do hairstyles cost? For UR hairstyles, unlocking one color palette costs 6 bottles. If it's a built-in ombre palette, it still costs 6. For dual color dyes, since you're unlocking 2 colors at once, the cost doubles to 12. Single color dye feature are called single dye, dual color dye feature are called vivid dye on global version. Once a color is unlocked, you can use it freely without any additional cost, even when creating dual color hairstyles, which we'll discuss later. For SSR hairstyles, the cost is 4 bottles per color instead of 6. For SR hairstyles, they lack some rare color options, but the cost remains 4 bottles per color. How to unlock clothing dyes. In shinynikki, a full outfit is called a suit. Suits can be recolored, which is also awakened, and awakening functions similarly to infinitynikki, but there's only one version, and you will get higher scores. I won't go into full details here, but it's generally cheaper to recolor in shinynikki than what we've seen in infinitynikki so far. And once you awaken a suit, like I've mentioned, you will get higher scores and a new color variant of the entire outfit, including hairstyle. Some outfits also have a third recolor, which doesn't require full awakening. These will be important when we discuss dye-based variations later in the video, so bear with me, it will all come together soon. Now that you understand shinynikki's awakening feature, let's talk about how dyeing individual clothing items work, which might give us a hint about how infinitynikki's dye system could function. If you own an item that can be dyed, you unlock the ability to dye it with limited palettes. The original color palette is free if you obtain the original item. The 8 colors in the same palette will be based on the original color of this outfit, so it will be different across different outfits. You can freely customize color placement within that palette at no cost. However, if you want more colors beyond the default set, you will need to unlock additional palettes. To unlock all 10 palettes, you must first awaken the entire outfit. Awakening also unlocks a secondary color base, meaning colors will appear slightly different based on whether you apply them to the original or awakened base. And after awakening, you will also get one additional color palette with 8 colors to choose from the awakened colors. So that will be different across different outfits as well. And both palettes that came with the outfit will be free to save. Unlocking additional color palettes for UR outfits cost 40 dye bottles per palette, 400 bottles to unlock all palettes. For SSR suits, the rules are the same, but it costs 20 per palette, 200 for all palettes. For SR suits, it follows the same awakening rules and costs the same amount of SR dye bottles as SSR, which is 20 and 200. This system encourages players to go for evolutions or awakening in Shiny Nikki's term, rather than relying solely on dyeing. I expect infinitynikki to have a similar system, since allowing full recoloring without evolution might reduce incentives to evolve outfits. That said, I do hope they enhance evolutions, but not too much, just the looks, since making them too extravagant could make it far too expensive to complete them. But what do you think? I personally think they might add more textures or material differences for different evolutions. But then on the other hand, I also don't want that because I don't want to get pushed to evolve all the colorations. So let me know what you think. And I really don't hope we don't have to fully evolve outfits just to unlock all color palettes. That would be insane. Cost of dyeing an entire outfit. Dyeing non-main items such as accessories is cheaper than dyeing main items such as top and bottoms or dresses. If you unlock all dyes for accessories first and later decide to fully unlock the dress, the game refunds any extra costs, so the final costs remain the same. Final cost per fully unlocked outfit palettes. For UR outfits, it's 400 bottles. SSR or SR outfits, it's 200 bottles. Each dress also have 5 dyeable slots, so you can revert back to the original in-game colors anytime and swap between the 5 dye selections you have done. A feature I love, custom randomization. One of my favorite features is the randomization tool. You can, first of all, as a basic feature, randomize colors among all palettes. This is going to give you crazy combinations and they don't turn out great usually. But what I love about it is that for the specific randomization feature, you can choose the colors you want to be included for randomizing for inspiration. So for example, if you pick 2 colors or 3 or 4 that you really like, or if you want to go for a specific color palette, say like Snow White, you can pick all those colors and randomize within the colors you've picked. I'll fully showcase this in the gameplay section and walk you through it. This is super useful to get your creativity flowing before dyeing. Clothing patterns. In addition to dyeing, you can also imprint patterns onto clothing. Some patterns allow gradient adjustments, density, saturation controls, base color toggling for rare palettes. You will get more features. For less rare palettes, you're going to get less of the customizations. And unlocking the patterns costs 40 materials per UR pattern, 20 per SSR or SR patterns. And with the rarity, we're talking about clothing because the patterns in itself also have the same rating. So there are UR patterns for UR clothing and for SSR clothing. There are SSR patterns for UR clothing and SSR clothing and SR clothing. But we're not going to go in that deep because this is like a speculation overview video. It's not a tutorial on the dyeing feature. So just know that the materials are all over the place. I'm trying to simplify it. With fewer adjustments available for lower rarities when it comes to clothing. So say if you have a UR piece of clothing and an SR, the SR piece is going to have less color palette. Less color pattern choices. And patterns can also be applied to accessories and shoes. Unlike dyes, once unlocked, they're free to swap and save. Sharing custom designs. One cool feature is that you can actually share your designs using a code system. This allows you to save and share your own combinations with others and use other players' design by entering their code. Alright, let's now move on to the gameplay showcase and we'll try out some of the features ourselves. First of all, we're trying out hairstyles. So what we're going to try out right now, let me find one that does not have special effect. Maybe a shorter one. Okay, so something like this. What we're going to try out first is pure color, free dye versus solid dye. So you can see here, everything is in Chinese, but as we talked about before, you probably already know what all these are since they're listed on the sides of the screen, and also I've explained everything. So let's just get started. And I'm doing this on a Chinese language server is because I haven't been playing on global for a long time. I don't have any of the materials on global to show you what this is actually like. So we're gonna have to do it here. So the differences between a free dye and a solid dye is the solid dye is just gonna imprint whatever color you're choosing right onto your hairstyle. So kind of like ignoring the base color. But if you're doing free dye, the dye is going to change with the original color of the hairstyle. So say if we picked this mint color, this is what it's going to look like when it's a solid dye. This is free dye. And if we do change a hairstyle, you can see the hair color is going to change based on its original hairstyle color. So you can see the differences here. This is a free dye versus different base. This is like a pink base. It's very, very different. And this is like a blonde base. You can see that it's like an overlay. When it turns to the solid dye, everything is gonna look exactly the same colors. So this is pretty easy to understand. And then now let's switch to a long hairstyle like this. Oh, also if the original hairstyle is an ombre, when you do free dye, it's gonna keep the ombre. Just so you know. And then next, let me switch to, yeah, this would be a great one. So actually something shorter. Oh, this is perfect. Now we are going to check out what ombre vivid dye versus single dye is. So in the game, it's called vivid dye versus single dye. I also talked about this earlier in the video. So single dye is one color. Let's ignore the ombre dyes first. So these one color dyes are only going to show up as one color when you select one of them. And if you do want an ombre with, say, like this blue and that green, or this is light silver, that's what they're calling it. What we can do is this button over here, when we click on it, now it's saying please select two color palettes. So what we can do is we have the green selected. If we want to do full green, we can select this as the second one. So it's going to be an ombre now. And what you can do is you can drag to see how ombre you want the hair to be. And one more thing is you can switch top and bottom colors right here. So this is the differences between a vivid dye and a single dye. And as I've mentioned in the previous parts of the video, the materials are tied to unlocking a single palette. So since technically we're unlocking two colors over here, it's gonna consume 12 of these materials. But if we switch back to single dye, select on the same material, it's only gonna cost 6 because we're only using one. And if we're talking about the ombre colors, these are the built-in ombre colors. So these are definitely going to be harder to obtain for sure, especially blonde, gold, white, black. These type of colors, paper doesn't like to give them to us. So these are more rare, including the non-ombre ones. These basic colors are more rare. So what's considered not rare in their opinion are like these crazy colored ones. So for the built-in ombre ones, when you unlock it, because it is the same color palette, it's only going to count as 6. But the thing is, you cannot use these as vivid dye, which it's your self ombre thing. So it's not gonna work like that. But for this one particular, you can also do switch it up and down. And one thing important to note, I feel like it's going to be important for infinitynikki too, is what paper think is rare and what they are unwilling to give us. So what they're unwilling or thinking is rare is like these kind of blonde, black and white hairstyles that they think are rarer. So these materials are going to be harder to get. And but there is a possibility of getting Nikki's hair. If you drag it down all the way, you can see like there's only a little bit of ombre left for this one that is literally called Nikki pink and white hairstyle. If you pause and directly translated what it says here, it's probably gonna directly translate to warm, but that's Nikki's Chinese name. So we can see that there could be a potential or a version of Nikki's pink hair if we do ask them for it. So I feel like this is helpful in that if we do want something, we need to tell them, and they are going to hear us if we give them enough feedback. Alright, so now let's move on to the clothing dyeing feature. First of all, let's pick an outfit. Let's just pick a simpler one. We're gonna do one of each. So let's pick a UR that I haven't done before. Okay, so this one is great. This one has all 4 base colors. So when I talked about base color, I don't know if you got what I meant in the previous clips, but when we talk about the base color, the first one is the original, the one you pulled from the pavilion or banner or gacha. And then, like I said before, you are going to complete the outfit, get the designer's reflection, and get the echo to awaken that outfit. Once you awaken it, you've recolored it, and you've gotten the second version. And then there's another feature that will allow you to recolor the dress and one accessory into a different colorway. So this is something I won't go into details. If you're wondering, you can ask around, or I could also make a video on that, but that's going to be a whole separate thing. So for a lot of the UR dresses, we are going to have 3 versions of the base, but typically for normal outfits, we're usually going to have 2. So this is what I talked about. Every single outfit, when you obtain the original, it is going to give you a palette of 8 colors for the original. So this, you can play around and change it, and then you can like save it. I've saved it, it's shown on here. But that would be the only palette you could play with. So after that, what you can do is you can go in, complete the outfit, awaken it. You are going to get the second color. So the second color is going to unlock automatically your second color palette. It's going to contain 8 of the colors from the awakened outfit. So you can play around, change their locations, whatnot, whatever you want to do with it, and then you can save it for nothing. So that is the free palettes. But now you want to get more colors. Oh, someone already unlocked this, but we're just gonna ignore it. So if you do want to unlock more colors, now what you gotta do is you can either choose whichever color you are using to unlock, and one of these palettes that containing 8 colors is gonna cost 40, like I mentioned before, 40 bottles. But if you do want to unlock the detailed feature that I also mentioned before, what you need to do is you need to unlock all 10 palettes. It's saying 9 over here and it's saying 360 is because one of those additional palettes for this particular dress has been unlocked before. So usually this is going to cost 400 total to unlock 10 palettes. So we're going to select OK. Now we've unlocked everything. And let's just play around with it. We're on region 2. We are on region 2. We have the awakened version of the dress on, and we've selected a red color. Where is the red? Right here, this red. So when we go into here, this palette thing, you can adjust these sliders to whichever color you want it to be, and then you can adjust how saturated you want it to be. And there's also how light you want it to be. So I think the direct translation paper did was, I know the last one is iridescent. The second one, let me check. Okay, we're back. So paper translated the first one as variance, the second one as vividness, and the third one as iridescence. So these are the 3 sliders you can adjust, and you can adjust it for different colors. So then you just get more of a customization for yourself if you want. But something to note that paper made it almost impossible to get black and white on these. But for one outfit, they actually gave us the black and white dye as a special feature, which is this one. So then from this, we can also know that they do think black and white is like a special color for us. So if you do want, so you can see, you can turn the entire thing to white. That's like pure white. So yeah, now you kind of know what paper think is important and what they might hide behind a paywall. So yeah, you can see for all of these, the original and the Awaken are going to have their own palettes, and then the rest are going to be locked. And then now let me show you like kind of an example of what different base color would affect this outfit. Let me pick one that has more of a difference. There are differences usually, but a lot of them are not as obvious. This one is very obvious. So you can see the original version, which is purple, and then you can see like the aroma is different. Second version, it's more of a cool tone, and then the third version is here. So this will be the differences between different base. And like I said before, I think this could be a good way of them giving a meaning to their different colors. Oh, and also I just want to mention, I did part of my script when I was looking on my global account. I did not have as many slots on the global account, but I do have more on the Taiwanese account, which is my main account. So I just want to make note of that. And also now let's check out the randomize feature. So for the randomize feature, let's reset everything. And then let's go inside here. Wait, hold on, let me see. Okay, so now on this little tab here, you can toggle this on and off. So one of it is randomize everything, and then the other one is customize randomization. So for randomize everything, like I said before, it's gonna utilize every single color there is for this game. For this outfit, you can see the differences between the base. And then when you toggle on the what is it called? The customize, what you can do is you can select some of the colors you want. Let's get rid of these super bright colors. Okay, let's just select the pink, and we've selected some of those. So now we save it. And now when we randomize, it's gonna stay within the category. So like I said, if you have like a color palette in mind, you could do the randomization and then kind of tweak it yourself, or it's gonna inspire you maybe a little bit more when you do the randomize, when you do the customized randomization, because it's not gonna go all crazy. Yeah, like this version is not bad. And then when you want to save it, you can override it, or you can create like a new one, whichever you want. And then you are going to still have access to the original color. You can turn it off and on in the wardrobe as well when you are dressing her. Okay, so now let me switch to maybe an SSR dress that is simpler, so we can take a look at how the patterning works. Let me see. This one is simpler. So let's take a look at the patterning. So this is original color. It costs 20 per for SSRs. This one is actually not that good. this one might be better. Yeah, this one is better. So it costs 20 per when you want to unlock a certain pattern for your SSR outfit, and it costs, I believe, let me try it, 60 for URs if I remember correctly. 40 for URs, sorry. 40 for URs and 20 for SSRs. Let me get back that dress. Okay, yeah, so these ones, as you can see on the top right corner of these little icons, whenever it is yellow or gold colored, that means these are ultra rare, so these are higher quality. These rarity only points to the rarity of the patterns themselves, like they do not have anything to do with the clothing. Only SSR clothing and UR clothing have UR pattern options. So you can keep that in mind, and these are going to be like the more special ones. I know this is not that great, but also because of the stress, it's not that great. So they're going to be like a little bit different, and they're going to be animated. And these would often come from special event. Let me like what I showed you in one of the video clips early on in this video, and you can just like switch between different patterns you selected. Say like if you really like this one, you can adjust how dense you want the pattern to be, like the size of it. You can adjust how saturated you want it to be. You can turn the pattern on and off. So it's gonna have less sliders when it comes to less rare patterns. So there's gonna be a lot more options for the better quality ones. Not necessarily, whatever you like is better. So now I'm adjusting like the size of it, and then you can adjust the saturation of it. And then there is the ombre. You can turn it on and off. You can turn the patterns on and off. So yeah, there's like a lot of different stuff you can play with, and there's a lot of different things you could do. And you can add a pattern to different regions. So like you can do like a crazy dress if you wanted to. Alright, that's a summary of Shiny Nikki's dyeing system. From this, we can speculate on what paper might be planning for infinitynikki. Now that we know what they've done before, we'll also have a better idea of what to expect. And if the new dyeing feature in infinitynikki turns out to be too restrictive or expensive, we'll have a solid basis for feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What are your speculations and hopes for the infinitynikki dye system? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!